Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Victory IS. In today's session, we'll talk about the major crops of India. This is the topic of discussion for the day, wherein we'll talk about almost all the important crops that are grown in India, and we'll also talk about the environmental conditions, the physical conditions, what should be the condition of the soil, what should be the climatic conditions under which these crops are grown. Along with that, we'll also talk about the leading producers of these crops. So, without wasting much time, let's begin with the session. And first thing, that what exactly this term cropping pattern means. So, when we say cropping pattern का मतलब है, let's say this is a piece of land and this piece of land is being observed for 1 year. Time period is 1 year. So, the cropping pattern will refer to the sequence of the crops that would be grown for that year. So, let's say you begin with paddy crop and then you grow wheat and then later on you grow some vegetables. So, this is the cropping pattern throughout the year. So, it is the sequencing of the crops over a piece of land for a particular period of year, and that particular period of year, oh, that particular period of time we are considering over here is an year. Is it okay? So, cropping pattern is the sequencing of the crops. Sequencing of the crops over a piece of land for a particular period of time, usually taken as 1 year. Okay. Then, when we talk about the different crops of India, before coming to individual crops, obviously these crops are very important for the prelims examination. But before coming to that, let's try and classify them. So there are two bases on which the crops of India are being classified. The first basis is seasonality. On the basis of seasons, the crops are classified into three categories. One is Kharif, second is Rabi crops, and third is Jayad crops. So these are the three categories on the basis of the seasons of the crops. So Kharif crops are grown with the onset of monsoon. These crops are cultivated with the onset of monsoon. So we know that in India, monsoon onset is between June, July, and it is grown till September, October. So this is the timeline of the Kharif crop. Broadly, from June to October, this Kharif crop is grown. We know the famous crops such as paddy, jute, cotton is grown. Some millet varieties such as jowar and bajra, they are grown during this uh, season, which is with the onset of the monsoon, and it goes till autumn season. No, in the month of September and October, we have autumn season in India. So it is also said to be autumn season crops. This Kharif crops are also said to be autumn season crops. Why autumn season? Because they get cultivated, they get harvested during the autumn season. Okay. Then Rabi crops. So after Kharif, in India starts the winter season, so they are the winter crops. Timeline roughly October, November to this goes up till March, April. So harvesting happens during March, April time period, and sowing happens in October, November. The crops that are part of Rabi crops are obviously wheat, maize if you have heard of, maize obviously, भुट्टा जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं, and then mustard. So number of crops. We'll take up each and every crop separately. Then we'll also talk about whether they are Rabi, Kharif or Jaid crops. So Jaid crops, the season is between say April to June. April to June broadly. So typically it is the summer crop. This is the time of or the season of summer in India. So typically Jaid crops are the summer crops. Mostly vegetables are grown during this time. So the crops which are grown during this season or in this category of crops, Jaid crops, are the vegetables. For example, watermelon, muskmelon. All these crops are prominently grown during the different time periods. Some of these crops are grown in other seasons in other seasons as well at certain places. So once we'll talk about the every crop individually, then we'll tell you that which all crops are grown in two seasons. We'll talk about that. Anyway, second basis, this was the first basis. Second basis is on the basis of commercialization. On the basis of commercialization. So on the basis of commercialization, there are two types of crops. One is food grain or call it cereal crops. It is also called cereal crops. And second is commercial or also called cash crops. So on the basis of commercialization, we have food crops or cereal grains, and also second category is commercial or cash crops. Example of commercial would be sugarcane, cotton, jute. All these are examples of tea, coffee. All these are examples of the commercial or the cash crops. And coming to food crop, obviously paddy, wheat, maize, millets, everything. So this is the two categories of the crops in India on different bases. In one case, the basis is seasons. In other case, the basis is commercialization, whether the crops have been commercialized or not. Okay. Now let's talk about each and individual crops separately, and we'll talk about the important things which are needed for the prelims examination. So starting with paddy. Paddy, in certain books you also might find written rice, but it would be better if you know paddy. Rice is basically chawal. So with the that outer covering of rice, that is called paddy. So basically paddy cultivation hota hai, and then uski refining that is converted into rice. So better word would be using paddy as the crop. Okay. So talking about paddy, first thing, it is a kharif crop. First thing, it is a kharif crop. It is a food grain crop. It is a kharif crop. It is a food grain crop. If it is a kharif crop, you should know that this would be sown somewhere in June, July and harvested somewhere in September, October. So this is the harvesting time or the total time that it takes in order to cultivate this crop. So first is kharif. Second is it is a food grain crop. It is grown in a hot and humid climate. Hot and humid climate is good for the cultivation of these crops. So the rainfall on an average remains more than 150 centimeter. The average annual rainfall, that is more than 150 centimeter. In those areas, this crop is being naturally grown. Okay. Then it needs clay soil. It needs clay soil or loamy soil. So, kind of soil which is good for the cultivation of this crop is clay or loamy soil. India is the second largest producer. India is the second largest producer of paddy in the world. Nearly 22-25% of the global production of paddy happens in India. The first largest producer across the globe is China. Okay, so this is a very important food grain crop of India, grown in, if I tell you broadly, in eastern part of India, including West Bengal, Bihar, Assam, obviously that Brahmaputra Valley. Then the coastal plains of India. If you remember, we have already discussed the physiography of India. I told you about the coastal plains of India. So, in these coastal plains where there is heavy rainfall, see, this is the amount of rainfall that is needed. So, it is grown in that area. Is it okay? So, largest producer of paddy is the state called West Bengal. West Bengal, this state. This state is the largest producer of, and then obviously Punjab is there, UP is there. These are the leading producers of paddy across the country. So these are the facts that is needed for the prelims examination. Make sure you have a note of these things. Do not write the entire statement, but put these things into the notes. Okay, now coming to the second crop, jute. So I have just put the picture for you in case somebody does not know about jute. So this is the plant of jute and this is the purpose of jute. So this plant, after getting harvested, it is put under water, and once it is put under water, this fiber is taken out, and that fiber is used for making ropes, carpets, and a number of things. So this is the commercial crop. First thing you should know that it has a commercial value. It is a cash crop. It is a cash crop. Second thing, if you look at this jute, you should know that it is a kharif crop. It is a kharif crop. Kharif means it is sown during the time of onset of the monsoon and gets harvested in the month of September, October. So it is a kharif crop. It is a commercial crop. The state which contributes maximum is West Bengal. This is the state which contributes nearly 80%, 80-90% of the, not 90, we can say 3/4, not exactly 90, better would be that, call it the portion. 3/4 of the total crop comes from West Bengal. And then the another major producer is Assam, and then third would be Bihar. So the major producers are, first is West Bengal. Do remember this because contribution is significant. Nearly 75%, 80% of the total crop produced is coming from West Bengal. And then second, do remember Assam. And obviously third is Bihar. So अगर ये बहुत close case होता तो I would have said that the leading producers. But do remember West Bengal because there is a significant gap between the other states and the West Bengal in terms of production of the jute. Okay, over here you can see the map, the other states, but do remember these three other states. You can figure out that it is a water intensive crop. It is a water intensive crop, means large amount of water is needed in the cultivation and processing of this crop. For this reason, this would be grown in the areas where we receive huge amount of rainfall. All these areas receive huge amount of rainfall in the country. I hope it is making sense. Next is cotton crop. Cotton crop, again a cash crop, commercial crop. Moreover, kharif crop. Kharif I already told you, which is sown during the onset of the monsoon and then cultivated in September, October. Already discussed in the beginning itself. So it is a kharif crop, it is a cash crop. India grows all the varieties of cottons. Basically, the varieties broadly are short staple crops, short staple cotton, and long staple cotton. So India is growing both these quality of crops. This one is called Indian cotton. There is another name given to it, Indian cotton, and this one is called American cotton. American cotton. So both the varieties are grown in India. The major areas where it is grown, you can see it is the southern part and the western part of India. So topmost producer is Gujarat, Maharashtra. At times they get interchanged year on year because they have close production. If you look at the numbers, so just remember the leading producers. Do not remember the which one is the first one. Rather remember that Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana, or you can say entire Andhra Pradesh, these are the leading producers. These are the leading producers of cotton. Okay, so it is mostly grown. If I talk about the climatic conditions, it is mostly grown in semi-arid climatic condition. Semi-arid climatic condition. So just remember these words. It is mostly grown in semi-arid climatic conditions, where the rainfall remains around 75 to 100 centimeter on an average throughout the year. Okay, then moving further, after cotton, let's talk about maize. Maize, this is the crop that we are talking about. A picture has been added. Maize, if you remember, I told you that maize is a kharif crop. It is a cereal crop. It is not grown mostly for the commercial purpose. Rather, it is grown in India as food crop as well as fodder crop. It is mostly grown in India as food crop as well as fodder crop. So, the maize we are talking about, it is mostly grown in, if you talk about this type of crop, this is grown in entire India. But the major areas where it is grown, if you look at this border, this MP, Rajasthan. So Rajasthan is the largest producer of maize. Rajasthan is the largest producer of maize, but it keeps on changing. At times it is MP, at times it is Rajasthan. So we talk about the leading producers. Leading producers would be, right, Rajasthan, MP, Maharashtra, Karnataka. All these are the leading producers of maize, and it is mainly grown as food crop as well as fodder crop. again in semi-arid conditions. It is grown in semi-arid climatic conditions. Okay. Moving further, millets. Millets that we are going to talk about: jowar. It is also called sorghum, bajra, and then ragi. So these are the three varieties of millets that are cultivated in India: jowar, bajra, and then ragi. Talking about these two are mostly kharif crop. When I say mostly, in certain parts of the country, like in southern part of India, it is also grown as kharif as well as rabi crop. But primarily throughout India, it is a kharif crop, both jowar and bajra. Ragi compared to this is kharif as well as ragi, rabi crop. It is both. So throughout India, it is grown as kharif as well as rabi, but this is primarily grown as kharif. But in certain parts of India, it is grown as rabi as well. Yes. So talking about jowar, jowar is mostly produced in southern part of India. So it is Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. These are the leading producer of the jowar. Leading producer of the jowar. Then coming to bajra, bajra is again in southern part of India, but MP, Maharashtra, Karnataka, so central as well as southern part of India, it is bajra. Then coming to ragi, ragi is again primarily grown in southern part of India. Ragi is primarily grown in southern part of India. So these two, jowar and bajra, they are grown in hot and dry conditions. These two are primarily grown in hot and dry conditions. But this ragi is primarily grown in warm and dry conditions. So just write these facts for the prelims examinations. It is ragi requires relatively lesser temperature compared to bajra and jowar. Okay. And with respect to ragi, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, these are the leading producers. This is where in southern part of India, it is mainly grown. And in southern part of India, it is used as staple food as well. Okay. The places where they are grown, they are used as staple food. They are rich in nutrients, they are rich in protein, they are rich in a number of vitamins. If you see nowadays, government of India under National Food Security Mission is promoting the cultivation of these crops. Okay, so these crops are very important in the sense that now the production is increasing because of the government initiatives, because of the efforts from the government. If you have heard of the scheme called National Food Security Mission. Okay, so this is how now we have discussed the millets. Under the millets, we talked about three types of crops: jowar, bajra, and ragi. These two are primarily kharif. I am not saying only kharif. They are grown in certain parts of the country, especially in southern India, as rabi as well. But primarily, they are known to be kharif crop. Then this one is rabi as well as kharif crop, primarily grown in southern part of India. This entire set of crops are primarily grown in the southern part of India, including obviously the MP, the central India. Broadly, if you can remember that much, this will help you out. And you should know that these two are grown in hot and dry conditions and more or less similar, but temperature is relatively lesser. That is why warm and dry conditions. Okay. Okay, moving further, let's talk about pulses in India. So we'll talk about three, four type of pulses, starting with gram, which is also called chickpea, which is also called chickpeas. Then we'll talk about तूर और अरहर, इसको हम लोग अरहर भी बोलते हैं. एंड देन विल टॉक अबाउट ग्रीन ग्राम, जिसको हम लोग मूंग बोलते हैं. एंड देन ब्लैक ग्राम. These four types of pulses we are going to talk about, but majority of the pulse belongs to this category, gram category, chickpea category. Okay, so starting with the pulses, gram. So gram is, if you look at gram, it is a rabi crop. Right here, gram, it is a rabi crop. Rabi means it is grown in the winter season. This gram is a rabi crop and it is primarily grown in winter season. And the areas where it is grown primarily, if you look at the facts, MP is the largest producer of gram. MP is the largest producer. MP, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, these are the states where this pulse gram is produced in large quantity. So largest producers or the leading producers are MP, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, look at Karnataka. All these are the states where gram is produced in large quantity. Okay, then moving further. After gram, let's talk about arahar or tur pulse. So arahar, it is a kharif crop. First thing, that it is a kharif crop, and mostly it is grown under rain fed conditions. Areas which do not have well irrigation facilities, in those areas it is grown under rain fed conditions. Rain fed conditions means that in the areas where we do not have well developed irrigation facilities. So under rain fed conditions, in semi arid climatic conditions, in semi arid climate. So this is a kharif crop, mostly grown in rain fed conditions in the semi arid climate. And the producers, if you look at, the major producers are Maharashtra, UP, Karnataka. These are the states which have largest contribution when it comes to arahar as a pulse. Okay, so these are these, obviously MP, parts of Gujarat as well, although it is not created in the map, but parts of Gujarat. So these are the states where you'll find ample production of these pulses belonging to arahar variety. Then this is green gram, also called moong or green gram. Green gram or moong. So this crop, if you look at, this thrives well. This is well cultivated in warm and dry conditions. In warm and dry conditions, this thrives well. If you remember, in northern India, especially in UP, it is grown as Zayad crop. In northern India, this is grown as Zayad crop. So if you remember Zayad crop, I told you majority of the vegetables are grown in Zayad crops. But in northern India, this is grown as Jayad crop. Jayad crop means in the month of April or March to June, July. So once the rainfall sets in, the crop is lost. Okay, so this is green gram. The important states where it is grown is, right, Maharashtra, Karnataka, these are the leading producers of this crop. UP, obviously, although it is not grown much in UP, black Brahm is grown mostly in UP, but Moong is also grown in significant quantity. So major producers are Maharashtra, Karnataka, all these. So UP, Bihar, all these states will grow Moong. Now coming to black gram, which is also called Urad. Urad or black gram. So it is grown with Moong only. More or less same climatic conditions it need. The warm and dry climatic conditions. Again, it is mostly grown in UP, Maharashtra, UP, Maharashtra, all these states it is mainly grown. Okay, so Urad, just right. UP, Maharashtra, MP. So these states, the northern and the central part of India, including the southern part of India, where there is warm and dry conditions, they are grown as Jaid crops, mostly as Jaid crops. So now moving to another very important food grain crop of India, another very important cereal crop of India. See, when it comes to the largest quantity of food grains which is grown in India, it is related to paddy. So it is the second most important food grain crop in India. It is the second most important food grain crop in India. It is a cereal crop. Obviously, it is a rabi crop. We have already discussed. Rabi crop. It thrives well in the temperature lying between 15 to 25 degrees Celsius. So during the time of sowing, the temperature remains lesser. If you remember, the sowing time is October, November, and harvest time is March, April. So this is the ideal temperature for the cultivation of wheat. So you should also remember the the sowing season and the harvesting season. You should know that it is a rabi crop. You cannot forget about this. This is the most important or second most important when it comes to the number. It is primarily grown, if you look at this, it is mostly grown in northern part of India. So Punjab, Haryana region, where we have ample production of wheat. UP is, among the largest. Do not take it as the largest producer because it keeps on changing. The facts are like the amount, the difference is not much between the largest and the second largest producer. So just remember the leading producers of wheat. So leading producers of wheat would be Punjab, Haryana, UP, Rajasthan. In Rajasthan also we have significant amount of wheat because you know that in Rajasthan we do not have much of the rainfall, and this crop does not need much of the rainfall, especially this part of Rajasthan where we have Indira Gandhi Canal. Over here wheat production is in abundance. Okay, then moving further, mustard, again a rabi crop, an oil seed crop. This is an important oil seed crop grown in India. Obviously important for edible oil. Edible oil is extracted. हमारे यहाँ आप देखेंगे especially in North India, this edible oil is used for cooking purposes. The largest producer of it would be Rajasthan. Rajasthan is significantly higher producer when it comes to mustard. This is also called rapeseed mustard. So if you get this word rapeseed mustard, this is the same thing they are talking about. So rapeseed mustard or this Rajasthan is the largest producer. Okay, then MP and UP are the among the other important producers. MP, UP, Haryana, all these things. Coming to sugarcane. So sugarcane, as you can see, it is an year-long crop. It is grown throughout the year. It takes around 12 to 18 months or 15 months from sowing to harvesting time. Sugarcane, it is a year-long crop, and the states which grow sugarcane are UP, Maharashtra, Karnataka nowadays, Tamil Nadu. These are the leading producers of sugarcane in India. You should know that the quality, the sugar content, or call it glucose content, in the sugarcane of North India is relatively poor compared to South India. And that is the reason that sugarcane is grown primarily in southern India because of better quality of the sugarcane. Okay, so the sugarcane is obviously used for extracting sugar. That is one thing. So it is important raw material for sugar industry. Then it is also used for uh, as a fodder in villages. It is also used as, if you look at this, it is used for making alcohol. So it is important for alcohol industry. So it has several significance, and these are the states which produce large quantity of sugarcane. Now coming to another commercial crop or cash crop. So tea. Tea, if you know, the first GI tag has been given in India to any product, that is tea. Which tea is that? Darjeeling tea. So this is the first product which has been given GI tag in the country. So now there are hundreds of GI tax products, but it was the first one to be given the GI tag. Darjeeling tea. It is also called champagne of teas. So we are talking about tea production. So tea production, if you look at it, is a shayophyte. Shayophyte means they are shade loving. Shayophyte means shade loving. So they are shayophytes. Or India is among the top producer consumer of the tea. So it keeps on changing. At times it remains the first producer, at times it remains the second producer. But India is among the top producers of tea, mainly grown in this part of India, the Assam Valley, and then West Bengal. So West Bengal is the largest producer of tea in the country. West Bengal is the largest producer of tea in the country. West Bengal and Assam are among the topmost producers. But yes, if you remember the southern part of Western Ghat, if you remember Palani Hills, Anai Malai Hills, over there also we have significant production of tea happening in the country. So that is why you can also say Kerala and Tamil Nadu are among the topmost producers or the leading producers of tea. Coming to coffee. Coffee. Again, you must have heard of several varieties of coffee. Arabica, Robusta. These are the names of coffee variety grown in the country. So you should know that coffee is primarily grown in southern India, especially in the Western Ghat called Baba Budan Hills. Baba Budan Hills is part of Karnataka, obviously part of Western Ghat. Over here, for the first time, the coffee has been introduced in India. So it is mainly grown in Karnataka. Karnataka is the largest producer of coffee in the country. Then second is Kerala and then Tamil Nadu. So mainly the southern part of India, this part of India is mainly involved in coffee production. Again a shayophyte. Coffee is again like tea, it is also a shayophyte. Sciophyte means they are shade loving. They are shade loving plants. They are obviously grown in, if you can remember the climatic conditions, it is hot and humid climatic conditions. So they are grown in hot and humid climatic conditions with well drained soil. The rainfall, the rainwater should not stop in the areas where they are cultivated. So that is why well drainage system is needed for cultivation of these crops. Then coming to next crop, rubber. Rubber, rubber we know that it is an elastic material obtained from latex of rubber tree. So from the latex of the rubber tree, this elastic material is prepared, rubber, which is natural rubber we are talking about. We are not talking about the synthetic rubber. So just remember that it is a tropical tree, sir. You should know that it is grown mostly in tropical areas. It is a tropical tree. Or if in the question it writes subtropical also, it makes sense, but broadly it is a tropical tree. But you cannot write it is a temperate tree. That would be incorrect statement. Right? So it is tropical or subtropical tree. It was native to Amazon forest. It is native to Amazon forest, Brazil, but now it is obviously grown in India as well. It has been introduced to India as well. And for your utter surprise, you should know that 90% of the rubber comes from Kerala. 80 to 90% of the total natural rubber produced in India is coming from Kerala. We are talking about the natural rubber. So 80 to 90% is coming from Kerala, and these three states are the major states producing rubber. So rubber is confined to mainly southern part. Over here, Tripura also. You know, Tripura also in Tripura, including Assam, it is grown in some quantity. Okay, moving further, ground nut, also called peanut. First thing, Kharif crop. It is a Kharif crop. Kharif crop means it would be sown with the onset of the monsoon and will be cultivated in September and October. Yes. So, if you look at groundnut, India is among the top producers of groundnut in the world. India is among the top producers. It is usually the second topmost producer of groundnut in the world. So there are different varieties of groundnut grown in India. For example, Kadiri, Kuber, different numbers are given to them, but their names are like Kadiri, Kuber. All these are grown in India, although groundnut is native to Paraguay. Paraguay, if you know, Paraguay. So it is a country in South America. So it is native over there, but it is grown in India now in large quantity. Today, India is the second largest producer of groundnut in the world. Most of the production of groundnut comes from Gujarat, nearly 30 to 35%, then Rajasthan, then MP. So these are the leading producers of groundnut in the country. These are the leading producers of groundnut in the country, including Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh. So these are the important crops that we were supposed to discuss today. So just remember these facts, remember all the important lines. I know this was more of a factual session because these are the crops that we usually mix it with the soils and the agriculture of India. But since we have a focus for the prelims examination and these questions are being asked directly in the fashion the way I have taught you, So these statements would be given to you directly in the examination. Make sure that you write them, the leading producers. I told you where in which condition we are going to write about the leading producer, and in which condition we are going to talk about the top producer. So if there is a significant difference between the first and the second producer, then we'll talk about the top producers. Otherwise, we'll talk about the leading producers because it keeps on changing. Okay, and then do remember that whether it is a cash crop, kharif crop, rabi crop, commercial crop, or food grain crop, also try and remember the climatic conditions where they are grown. So if you can remember the areas where they are grown, you can easily figure out the climatic conditions of that area. So in order to understand this topic, in a more objective manner, rather than remembering them, you should know the agroclimatic conditions, the agroclimatic zones of the country. So India is divided into different agroclimatic zones. So we usually study 14, 15 agroclimatic zones in the country wherein these crops are studied and their reasoning is given why these crops are grown there. So this would be all for the day. Thank you so very much. Have a great time. Keep learning. All the best.